Hello. I saw recently someone talking about proms, and it made me think of my own proms because I've been to a few. And I want to share some of the stories with you while also glamming myself up as I was going to a prom. I actually put on a fancy dress that I'm going to show you later. It's actually my bell costume, but I think the dress itself is very pretty, so I wanted to wear it. First, let me just explain my school system. So I'm just gonna call them elementary, middle, and high school because in my head that makes the most sense, since I'm not like English, right? Okay, so 1st to 7th is what I'm gonna refer to as elementary school. 8th to 10th, I'm talking grades now, is middle school, and 11 to 13 is high school. Okay? Okay, let's get on with the makeup and everything. So my first prom was in 7th grade. I just turned 13, I believe. And what this reasoning for this prom was that we were two elementary schools who was gonna merge into like one middle school. So it was like a get to know your classmates type of deal. I have the sun directly at me, so it looks kind of weird right now. But it's the best lighting, okay? So just bear with me. And I was a hopeless romantic at the time, and I was really being like, this will be my moment, like maybe I'll find a boyfriend, and that did not happen, just FYI. But there is a funny story to this prom. First, I just want to preface by saying that in my country, you don't really ask a person to go to prom with you. For us, it was like, at least in my school, maybe somebody else has a different experience. But the way we did it was that you would randomly get a person and that would be your date, I suppose. And it was for everybody to get included, you know? And I remember I was terrified because I was like, there's no way I want to get one of the new guys, because I don't want to talk to a stranger. I don't want to sit next to a stranger. And it was like kind of ironic because, you know, new boys, maybe one of them will like me because none of the others. But I was still like, no, I changed my mind. I don't want to sit next to a stranger. But luckily I got one of the decent guys in my class. Like, he wasn't mean, but he wasn't nice, and it was okay. So yeah, we just sat together and ate dinner, and that was it, because you had to sit next to the date. And yeah, then we kind of just did our own thing. I look very pale right now. I am very pale, but still. However, at this time, I was a very, very big One Direction fan. I mean, there is no was, but it was different back then because, you know, you're a teen. And it was a very well-known fact that I was a Directioner. It was not a secret at all. Like, I think the whole school almost knew I was a Directioner. I don't know why that was interesting, but everybody knew. That's the whole point. And so I remember some of my classmates coming up to me and being like, so there's this other girl who also likes One Direction. And that made me really excited because I didn't really have a lot of friends who liked One Direction. And I remember I took the longest time trying to find this person because I was like, where is this other Directioner? I've got to know. And finally somebody came up to me and was like, do you like One Direction? And I was like, yes, I do. And then we became like instantly best friends. And I remember for so long it was like, and I remember I was like, my first prom experience was like not romantic at all, but I ended up with a new best friend. And we were like tied for so long, and I will never forget that evening because it really meant a lot to me. Like, I was very lonely at the time, and it really helped me. So hi, if you ever came across this or were watching this, I miss you. But yeah, we still have a few proms to talk about, so let's just keep going. My second prom was at the end of 10th grade, or I think it was in the winter time, so it wasn't like the end of the end. But now we were switching schools again. But this time we were like all starting high school, and so it was kind of like a I would say a graduating prom, like, yeah, this is your last year together, have fun, rearrange the night for you to enjoy. Yeah. And again, you were not allowed to ask anybody to go on a date with you because it was randomly selected again to include everybody. Like last time, they were just picking up a piece of paper with your name. Like an adult would be like, so Sam is going with Taylor and Brittany is going with Justin. You know, random names. None of my classmates were named that. But this time you had a cup, a welcoming cup with a number on it. And so that person who would match your number was your partner for the evening. And if anybody watched my last video, I talked about this guy who I made a Christmas cookie of. If you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. I don't want to explain it anymore. The directioner girl from the previous story, she knew that he had the same number as me. So being a friend, she was like, okay, we just swap numbers. I can go with him because they got along, which I was very grateful for because I didn't want to get stuck with him for the whole evening. However, it didn't really go in my favor because I ended up getting a guy I had a crush on for years, so it was very awkward. But at least I didn't have to be with a person who wished I was dead, kinda. That's the vibes he gave, at least. I remember going like, my younger self would have loved this. And I guess it kinda, I don't know, healed my inner small girl. Like, she would have loved it. But at that time, I was like, this is awkward. A little side note to this story, however, is that I had started a youth group the year prior. And there I had made a lot of new friends. And one of these friends, a girl there I had become very close with. So she was, I'd say, my best friend at the time. I have a lot of stories about her that I can talk about another time because, oof, the drama, let me tell you. But regardless, she, like I said, she was my best friend. And I was like being like, oh, I don't really want to go to this prom, but I feel like I have to because it's like something you don't technically want to miss, even though you're like, it's probably not going to be like glamorous, like wow. So she was like, just don't go then. And I was like, no, I feel like I want to. And like I would have expected my best friend to go, okay, yeah, I get that. I hope you still have a good time though. But no, she was trying to guilt me into not going. And like she would send me snaps of the same day because I had a crush at that youth group, and she was like, maybe he misses you. And I was like, probably not. But she was being very, very manipulative about it. Like she made me feel bad for going. I remember, she would bring this up a lot of the times prior to this prom. And I was like, no, I feel like I should go. Like, it's only gonna happen one time. Like, next year I won't be seeing these people who I grew up with. They aren't, yeah. Even though you don't get along, it's like graduation goggles, you know. You gotta go. I turn up very, very, very yellow right now. It's not that yellow in real life. But it's fine. I like this foundation. Like I said, I still stood my ground and I went to this prom. And like, I don't remember if we went to different schools. I don't remember if hers was before mine or mine before hers. But regardless, we went to different schools. And so when hers came up, she was also like, I don't really want to go. I don't like a lot of my classmates. And I was like, okay, well, don't go then. And then she had the audacity to say the exact same thing that I was saying when I wanted to go. And I was like, The hypocrisy. I didn't say it out loud because I'm a doormat, but that's what I was thinking. I was like, really? And I remember that because like I said, I'm a doormat, and I wouldn't really notice things like these before like anybody had told me like, why'd you do that? But I remembered that moment. I was thinking, that's very hypocritical, actually. Like, what? Like, there is a reason we're not friends anymore. Like, I was so excited because I went and bought a prom dress with my parents, and it was pink. And as you can see in the picture, it has straps. It didn't originally have that. I made my grandma sew them on because I didn't want to wear a strapless one because I wasn't really comfortable with that at the time. But I don't know. I think it looks cute with straps too. Like, Slay Queen. Like, you do you. I wore the same one the next year as well. So now we have entered high school. And you might be thinking, oh, that's some spicy stuff going on in those proms. Not the first year. So the only thing I really can remember from that is that, let me just preface that I don't think high school proms are a thing here, but I went to a private school in my high school years, so we had a prom. And this wasn't the really one like, oh, we have to include everybody, because now we're 16 now, we are treated more like adults, and the teachers don't really care to be like, kumbaya, include everybody, yay. But there was this girl in my class who was kind of being like, you guys should go together, to me and the guy I liked at the time, and we ended up being like, I don't know what happened, because I really wanted to, but he wasn't really into me, and then we one thing led to another, and we were like, yeah, we're going together, I guess. And this was a masquerade ball, but we didn't wear the masks a lot. And I remember just hanging with my friends in a pretty dress, and that's about it. I did skip the second year because this was a yearly thing here. Ironically, we were allowed to bring plus ones, and I did get my first boyfriend that year. But for some reason, I was like, I don't want to go. I don't remember why. Maybe it was something else I was going to do that day, or maybe I just didn't feel like it. Maybe I had dance practice. I don't know. I did ballet for all my childhood, and we had some, we were following the RAD system, if you're familiar with that. It's the Royal Academy of Dance, and we had exams at the end of each grade, and I remember I had to take the 7th grade of that ballet 2 years in a row. I was never really good at ballet, but I really enjoyed it. So I think that was maybe why I skipped it, because I really had to go to every practice that year for ballet. Like, there was no exceptions. I don't know. Anyways, the third year approaches, and here's a little backstory on the third year. So, the first year of school, I've gathered a group of friends. Like I said, one of them included the guy I was on a date with. And the rest were my little squad, because this was like 2016 to 2019. We used the word squad. And that was me and 3 other girls. 2 of them ended up switching schools the next years. So it was just me and my current bestie, and also the guy I liked also ended up switching for schools for grade 2. But we did have another guy friend, so we became like a trio, you could say. And when the third year approached, my guy friend's little brother entered the school. Like, he started at the school, and like I said, in my second year, I'd got a boyfriend, and I still had that boyfriend this year. And again, it wasn't a secret. Everybody knew I had a boyfriend. It was a pretty known thing. It was very openly. But he still developed a crush on me, which is fair. You're allowed to develop crushes on people even though they're not available. He wouldn't handle it the best way, though. but that's okay. I remember me and my bestie, we had gone dress shopping for her because I wanted to wear my mom's old dress from the 90s, which I call the Pretty Woman dress. It looks like this. I shared a picture from my next prom because it's not that eventful. And these prom pictures looks hideous with a big H, let me tell you. So I don't want to share any of those photos, but I can share this one. My bestie, she's a tomboy, so I had helped her find a dress. I did her makeup, like we got ready at my house, and I lived kind of far from the house. I didn't have a lot of time, so I didn't do my hair, which was a big mistake, because my hair didn't really look great that day, so I don't know why I didn't do my hair. But everybody was like being an oohs and ahs when we arrived that she was being very pretty. She was wearing a dress, like nobody had ever seen her in a dress, and which is rightly so. I'm not saying that they should not praise my bestie. Like, she was stunning, okay? That's not the point. The point is that I said the guy, the brother of my friend had a crush on me, right? And he had these expectations of what I was gonna wear, and he was disappointed that I didn't show up as a freaking Cinderella. And he told my bestie this, and she was appalled, and so was I. If he ever comes across this, I think he will deny ever saying this, but I don't think my bestie would lie to me. So yeah, I think he did say that. Not to my face, but like I said, he was expecting Cinderella and not Julia Roberts. Big mistake. If you know, you know. The last prom I went to was not very eventful as well. The only thing I remember is that I wanted to wear the Pretty Woman dress again, and my hair is pink and I dyed it brown because I wanted it to match. And I was gonna do some auditions later, and I felt like natural hair would give me better results, which I don't think it did, but at the time I felt like that was what I was supposed to do. So I dyed my hair. Nobody really noticed until that evening, which I thought was so much fun. And yeah, they served us water. That's all I remember. So I did my hair off camera, and this is the look. I think I look really cute. I'm ready to go to prom that is not happening, so if anybody want to take me out one, let me know. I know there are balls in like Austria, but I'm not close to Austria, so I can't go. But I did want to do a little reveal of the whole outfit, so without further ado, let's go. Okay, so here is the look. This is the dress. Very princess-like. Let me just preface that I sewed this 5 years ago, so it's a little tight and some of my proportions were a little different, but it still fits, and that's the important thing. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll come back for more, and maybe I'll share some more stories. Okay, bye.